Are you going so fast tonight? Have you ever stopped beside the road to smell the rose of life? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you might end up missing out on life's short little song. She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Got one life to live, don't let it go. Can you let go of it all tonight? Or will you decide to push on through and ignore the words inside? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you'll find you're missing out a life's short little song. She's saying, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. I need an angel to save me from myself, holding my Savior, keep my heart upon the shelf. Do you remember the things we said, the things we felt, calling forever, forever passing moment left. I need an angel to save me from my fate. I need an angel to light the sky along the way.
and goes, it goes, it goes. My weakness echoes in my soul. Oh, it echoes in my soul. My weakness comes and goes, it goes, it goes.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
if I go stronger? What if I get higher? What if I start doing things I know I will regret? I will make my own way, I will not surrender. I will do my best until I get put under. What if I go stronger? 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 What if I go stronger?
You make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so
It is that wonderful time when we're getting back into the ECS Developmental League. The European edition is getting very close to drawing out to an end, and surprisingly enough, Heroic of all teams are amongst the top 2 to actually proceed forward into the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting right up top, not having lost a single game so far, not having lost a single series so far. They've won 3 games 2-0, and they've drawn out 3 more. Now, that's particularly interesting to keep in mind because that does keep them at 12 points, while North sitting at 9 points. If they're able to win this one out 2-0, they will be able to take the lead. They will be able to take that first place spot that they so desperately want. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly how this map is going to be turning out, exactly how this match is going to be turning out. Because remember, after this, it's going to be Inferno, which Heroic excels on. Heroic very, very good on that map, especially if Jugi is coming alive, if Jugi is able to come and deliver with those frags, and we're going to have to wait to see whether or not it actually even gets to that. North right now, starting off on the CT side of Mirage, we're going to be heading right into it to see whether or not they can take control of this map early on. To those of you who are new to the stream, this is of course Tea Time. I'm bringing to you the stream, and right now, more importantly than anything else, I'm bringing to you a rush coming over towards that B site, which Valde will be defending very valiantly, pushing forward aggressively, but that's one from Config. It's a dynamic duo with Valde and Config just chiming in one by one. Nico finally coming through with a shot to return things, but it's still a 4 versus 2, and the bomb already making its way back, and AZ is there to intercept, but AZ will be taken down by Modi. Down into underpass they go, but they can still go for the rotation around. Modi just trying to figure out exactly where they're going to be headed off to, and it does seem like the A site is their mark. Just very calmly hoping that MSL will not be able to catch them out, but that isn't going to be happening right now. Immediately finds Nico, leaves Modi alone with 3 players left to deal with. Definitely a possible situation, but it's going to be very, very hard. Modi will have to come out with the kill early on, but MSL gets tagged on the shoulder. And with that, Modi backs off, recovers the bomb, and maybe could even go towards that B side. Would be very hard pressed for time, and he realizes it though, and MSL pushing forward from the side allows Config to get that kill from the stairs. And North, they take the pistol round away in convincing fashion. Valde and Config, that early crossfire over towards that B side, just so very deadly. Valde being allowed to push forward where Config was also peeking out. So they go for a very aggressive peek with both of them, but they manage to make it work off the back of both their spawns and their positioning. And more than anything else, just a raw aim. Heroic, they're going to be changing things up when in this force fight, just going for the full set of CZs, except for Jugi, of course, sporting his practically signature deagle at this point. S3 tag is going to see if he can find anyone, but oh no, Config has to be careful. Those CZs can be very dangerous even at long range. AZ takes a peek out. He's got a bit of a one-way going in his own favor, but Nico wants to be able to take him down regardless. AZ backs himself off and back towards that top of mid-area. He looks, making quite a bit of noise right now, but Config will be the first man to let the screams go out as S3 Tang. His head is removed from his body, and Jugi still lurking over towards that palace side will immediately respond. AZ picks up that Farmers and is there to pick up the slack as well. Finds one, could make it 2. Yes, he does. Muddy gets that kill, but Nico's left alone as Snappy will soon be buried right across his enemy. The Danish brothers won't be able to do too much, but Nico, look at this. He's got the bomb. He might be able to go for a plant over towards that B side. Just needs to run over, but that's why you see Valde rotating from that death hatch for Murder Alley. Sounds like something out of an Agatha Christie book, but Nico, if he's able to pull this off, then he will be a hero for his team. But look at this. He's thinking about making the rotation over. Picks up an M4. Things are looking even more possible for him if he can just make his way through without making too much noise. 20 seconds left. Is he saving this right now? That is a big question we need to try and figure out. That does seem to be the case. 15 seconds left on the clock, and Nico will be able to save up this M4 into the next round. Interesting save. Keep in mind that he won't get any money from this. They don't have the bomb planted either, so he will just be able to throw that CZ over to a teammate in that next round and see what they can get done behind that M4. If they're going for a full eco, then more than anything else, Nico's just going to be hoping that they can get the bomb plant down, because otherwise he will not have the money to be able to buy up in that next round. S3 Tag will be gifted that CZ. They're hoping that he will be able to get a couple of kills on the board. AZ finding that first spray down onto Nico. That's already the M4 being dropped back into S3 Tag's hands it goes. 14 HP left on him, so has to be careful that he doesn't get spammed down through the smoke, and that's why you can see him just hiding away in the corner. And will be able to back himself off successfully, leaving MSL to be the hero of the A side, and hero indeed, as he finds the opening few shots on the Jugi, draws first blood, but won't quite be able to bring him down. S3 Tag, look at that! Armor or not, aim punch or not, Config will take a fall, and Jugi now from the exact same angle, hoping to make magic happen, hoping to make lightning strike twice, but lightning is MSL's last name, that's why there's an extra L there. It's MSL Lightning. Might actually be MSL Lightning, that would be very interesting. I don't know what MSL stands for, but Cajun B stands for no man, as he gets taken down, buckles his knees, and will be taking a fall. Jugi soon to join him. That... This is where things are interesting, because Nico, he doesn't have very much money. He's sitting on 2,500, so we might be seeing him go for a CZ and try and just entry onto his site, but instead the UMP is what he sticks to. And they will be able to have a respectable buy coming out, but it should be an A site execute with the amount of utility that they do have. It should be just them trying to figure out how exactly they want to make their way onto it. Surprisingly enough, Modi doesn't even have enough money to buy a single smoke grenade. And that's very concerning when you keep things in mind, and you look at how many people there are down in mid, because there's just being mowed down 2-for-2 trade for now, but it's going to be Nico to try and upset the balance from the side. UMP in hand. He's the man who didn't have much money, but he now knows that there's a man over towards jungle. MSL needs to be careful. The Jugi, or Modi rather, in that position this time doesn't take him down, but Modi holding the angle, expecting the man to take the peak from jungle and not quite from the middle of the site. Cajun with that M4 is really hoping to take down S3 Tag. He's the man with all the utility. He's the man who can try and get his way onto the side, but Cajun unfortunately just isn't able to do so, and S3 Tag finds that opener, and off to Valde he goes. Valde has to be so careful over here. If he's able to get this flank, he could end this entire round for his team right now, but Nico, one quick peek could shut this down. But Nico's holding the angle. He knows that there's a man behind him. He has to be careful, but oh no, Valde finds that kill regardless. S3 Tag makes it a 1 versus 1. With a single point of HP, his chances are not looking good in the slightest. But oh, look at this. Smoke goes off. Back towards the A side he goes, hoping that MSL will be making some noise. But MSL realizes this. Realizes that the ball might be planted over towards that A site. And S3 Tag off he goes. Bombs being planted. MSL must have heard that. Must have heard that. Could even just shoot through the doors, but doesn't. Oh my goodness, he got the kill with 1 HP. I did not think he would do that. I was very surprised, and that's why you didn't hear a single point of hype in my voice. But S3 Tag, that is a big kill to get. That puts North really far back on their money. Remember, they lost quite a few players in the past as well, and that means that now they're on CZs and 2 scouts. Cajun and Config have been known to make magical things happen with these guns, but it's MSL who has to really step up, pushing forward aggressively, putting himself into a very consequential position. The CZ has to really show up and has to really survive the test of time. But the test of time is on Config's desk right now, as he is just hoping to find a quick shot with the scout, and that quick shot will be coming to him, but it's not from his own gun. It's going to be from S3 Tag, who's tagging him down significantly. Jugi once again finding himself on just a deagle. Wants to be able to find up a few quick kills and make this an easier round for them, but 23 HP on Config will definitely be helping that out substantially. Mid control has been taken. They're prioritizing that, and that really works out in their favor, because if you look over towards the positioning of MSL and of AZ, they just push forward aggressively over towards that A main side, so it's all on Cajun B with that scout from the ticket box area. It's occasion. Finds that first shot. S3 tag is brought down very low. That's going to be helping them out substantially. AZ from long range can't take control. But look at this. Coming in is Conflict from the sidelines. Can't quite get the kills. And that will be AZ to step up the slack. Finds one, but occasion is there to make it two. Now Jugi picking up the fallen AK from his teammate. Will be going over towards that connector side. Finds one shot, but it's going to be out of big cost. Leaving Cajun and Conflict in a 2 versus 3 where they can very easily take this down to at least an equalized scoreline. Nico, the man with the HP, the man with the AK, the man without utility, will be trying to find a few, but Snappy's the man who finds 2 quick kills to make it 2 rounds for Heroic as well. Coming in from the back lines, just finding the angle that was left undefended. Cajun and Config can't get anything done with the scouts. Cajun finds a few good tags, but it's still going to be the round going towards Heroic. They're able to recover their AKs as well, and with that, this should be a 3-3 in North. This is not how they wanted to start things off. They won the pistol round, but beyond that now, they seem like they're losing a bit of control, but control is being lost of mid-side. Control is being lost of their own lives, as MSL is the last man left standing, and he will be brought down very, very, very soon if Jugi just pushes forward just a little bit. But right now, it might not even be needed for Jugi, as MSL goes down to Modi's hands. 3-3. And now we're going to be looking at Heroic. Perhaps going for an A-side execute. What's interesting is Heroic's insistence on trying to take mid control. What's going to be even more interesting is how North actually adjusts to the new change of pace, that where 2 players are actually lurking over towards that A-side. AZ is going to be playing connector once again, as he does tend to do so. But the man to really watch out for is Jugi, and I'm wondering when he's going to be picking up an AWP for himself. He's got more than enough money to be able to do so. The smoke coming out from S3 tank will secure them a bit more mid-control, but that's where AZ is trying to shut it down. AZ is going to be trying to make sure that something happens. Oh, never mind. That's the smoke coming out through connector. But there's a problem with that smoke, is that AZ can actually use that as cover. He can get a bit aggressive, try and back off, try and run his way back through the smoke and make sure that no one can really catch him off. But right now, it might be Config to catch out these players up in the rotate through connector side. AZ with the flashbang coming through. That's pulled out at the wrong time. And Cajun won't be able to do anything but look to his side and find Snappy. Could be 2 coming through from him. He's definitely held that angle perfectly, and with 1 more from Config, that's going to be a quick 4 versus 2 situation. Heroic not using their utility in time, not quite able to flush out these players, and that leaves Modi alone to try and recover the bomb and try and fight up against 4 players. The flashbang will be avoided, finds that first kill, moves forward for the second. At this point, it's just economic damage that he's looking for, but Cajun, with his 3rd kill of the round, he's able to bring it back in the favor of North. They still won't have any AWP, and that's where Jugi will reign supreme. Pulls his own out, and that's going to be the big boy gun coming out for him. S3 tag so far has been the man stepping up massively. 9 kills on him. Heroic got to be feeling very happy about that, but Jugi now, he has to be the man to pick up the pace, to really come alive, and come alive he will in fashion. Look at this though, AZ in the meanwhile pushing forward aggressively. They know what is coming for them. 4 players will be going over towards that A site, and Muddy through the smoke finds one. Cajun goes down. That's a big one to get. That was the man who really brought together the city side defense. Nico, look at you, you're playing out of your mind. And Config finds one, but it leaves Valde in just about the same number. He takes away the AWP, sees Nico's head, will be able to flush him out. That should be at least 2 kills to come through, so making it expensive. But Nico doesn't care if there's fire, he doesn't care if there's hail. He's there to shut down Valde, and once again, a very quick headshot will secure Heroic the round. And more importantly than that, North have just been reset economically. They won't be able to buy up for quite a while, so that's where the force buy comes through. That's where the quasi comes through. Just really hoping to bring things together back on that 11th round. North will be ecoing up in the next one if they lose this one out, unless they're able to save up a few guns moving forward. But MSL is looking to do more than just that, getting aggressive towards that A site, and that's a position he likes to hold with the CZ, but they should have some idea of this. Nico, in the meanwhile, hears the shots and finds the shots onto Config. USB might be silenced, might be hiding the traces, but Nico doesn't seem to care very much about that, does he? Smoke deployed, and they're going in through connector side. You need to make sure they check this angle, but look at this. Valde's already found one, and AZ makes it two. Could even be three as he goes deep, and Muddy now left in 1 versus 1, who find quite a few kills off his own, but AZ could make this happen. He sees the shot, but can't land it. Muddy, it's an expensive round for them, but they managed to bring it back and managed to take it forward. Heroic losing out a lot of the grip over their money, but this is where Muddy throws over that AWP, realizing that North will maybe be tempted to buy up on a few of their players, but this could be problematic. That's where it comes down to not checking angles properly. Valde sitting down in connector, playing so differently to how AZ plays it. And that time they just had a great crossfire setup between AZ and Valde, as AZ takes the bait, throws the bait, and Valde is the man to switch and find a few kills. And that's just ridiculous, really, at that point. AZ finding such clean few shots, even the one on the Jugi at Palace, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And now the pause has ended, and now this is big, and this is very questionable coming out from North. They're going for 2 sets of M4s and 3 on the UMP. And this is problematic because now you're facing up against the AWP, where I said, okay, fine, if you have pistols, maybe you're able to overwhelm a little bit. But if Heroic win this, they're not just going to 7. This could even be 8 with the economic disadvantage. North will not have an AWP, and so far, Cajun has not been able to pick one up a single time. But look at this, that smoke coming through will allow Valde to get very aggressive, find some information about their whereabouts. Interesting smoke coming in from the back of B site, but that's where you see the aggression coming in from the CT side players. MSL and AZ, both of them just so aggressively postured around Secret and Palace. But with a minute left on the clock, Heroic are perfectly comfortable with slowing things down a little bit more. Using some of their utility to try and flush out a few players. But look at this. Jugi's been brought low, and Valdes found one and makes it 2. Could even be the spray down. On to the 3rd. The smoke is their friend, and Config, he doesn't care about raining men. He doesn't care what season it is. It's going to be Dane season at this point, with North not losing a single player. And Heroic, that is a very, very problematic round for them, because now they're the ones on the back foot economically. But Valde, look at that shot, few shots through the smoke, just finding the spray down onto 2 players, not expected whatsoever. Valde again and again on that B site, he is the man stepping up, he is the man winning North these crucial rounds. But Deagles galore, they're moving in through the front door of that A site. AZ is just waiting for that push to come through, really hoping that he doesn't get caught out, but Muddy's more than capable of doing so. Could see that head and takes him down. It is the Queen of Hearts, and she is yelling for a guillotine, and a guillotine she will find. MSL, flashbang is deployed, will allow him to back off and find that M4, but with the numbers disadvantage, things could be interesting. Cajun, though, for the first time in forever, he's got his AWP, and Config, well, he's not going to be too happy about the fact that Cajun just went down with that AWP, so he's going to walk right over after getting 2 kills, make it 3 for himself, and will recover that AWP. North keep the expensive gun alive, but they do end up losing 2 rifles, so not feeling all too comfortable economically just quite yet. That's going to be going to be interesting to see how Heroic now are able to adjust to try and fight up against Cajun's op now that it has come through. You have to remember, Cajun with that AWP, he's a bit of a rock. You can always expect him to really just put up, land those easy shots if nothing else, land those consistent shots, and occasionally it does look a little bit fancy, but still, Snappy is the man moving forward. No, Snappy, don't do this. He finds one. But with the gap in the smoke, Cajun could have really looked to exploit that, but he backs himself off, finds one instead, and it's on to the stairs, and it's another one to follow, but it's unfortunately the man from the side as he scopes to the wrong angle, and Config has to pick up the pace and step up the slack. He finds one, tries to transfer the spray down through the crate, but the crate is not his friend, as Muddy will be able to find him and shut him down. Once again, the young Dane, the superstar from Heroic. It's going to be a Brutus versus Julius Caesar moment, and it 8-2 Brute as Valde finds 2 kills. 7-5. Again and again and again, Valde, the man of the hour right now. not topping the scoreboard, but he doesn't need to. He is the one finding those crucial kills, knowing Heroic inside and out, just shutting them down every single time. And that's where that insight really does seem to be helping him out quite a bit. Valde just looking like an absolute monster. Speaking of monsters, though, Jugi is not afraid of any monster whatsoever. But perhaps he should be, because Cajun B just took him down. Nappy in the meanwhile also just trying to make sure that he can find some kills. But AZ, with the firepower advantage, he's more than capable of taking that peek through. Oh my goodness. Have to be a little bit scared once Cation starts hitting those shots, even if it is just against an anti-eco. As he finds one, S3 tag will be his third kill as he finishes things off. But have to be very careful. Once Cation B starts racking up the momentum, that's where things get tricky for the side of Heroic. And Heroic again, they're just kicking themselves right now. They were in a position where they could have easily taken it to 8 rounds, but that one anti-force by round that they just let slip away from their hands. And Valde again and again just winning these situations every single time. Snappy, speaking of winning these situations, finding the entry frag very quickly, makes it 1. MSL's peeking out through as well, but Snappy, look at this, he's looking fancy. He's got some footwork going for himself. He's dancing the dance of death, but right now, unfortunately, it's going to be the rest of Heroic who will be going down. Nico's left in a 1 versus 2. He can definitely make this happen. Both of them over towards a similar side. He's got possession of the bomb as well. Quite a bit of utility to work with if he just smokes one off. But oh, look at this. Look at this. Finds the first shot. Immediately, that's Valde going down. But you don't want to... MSL going down. But you don't want to be in a 1 versus 1 against Valde. No sirree. Pushing forward aggressively. Nico! Look at that. It's ridiculous. How are these players doing this every single time? These clutch rounds are what is making this a spectacular game. North expected to really run over Heroic, but Heroic, they're here to get their money's worth. Nico finding that kill will allow them to be able to put up one last Heroic defense, pun intended, up against the superstar FC Copenhagen boys. Let's see whether or not it'll work out, though. Let's wait and see. 8-6, and Cajun, man, I have to say, he hasn't even been getting the AWP that often, but he's still sitting right on top of the scoreboard, and that's him really putting up the numbers. But you also have to ask yourself, Config, he's been a bit quiet this time around. Dying early on, leaving Valde in those clutches. But Snappy, now it's all on him. Going forward aggressively, could find that early kill as well onto Azin. Indeed, he does. And Snappy's just been so consistent in finding that early pickoff, and it could be the second one to follow through. Cajun B trying to pull out the P250 and shut out what he started, but Jugi will be the man walking over towards Secret. There's 2 players there to welcome them in, but it's not a very warm welcome, as Config will keep things under control. 3 versus 2 with quite a bit of utility still left. 2 Molotovs to be deployed out. Config reveals his position as well, so this could be flushing him out as 2 flashbang to follow. And they know how important this is. Cajun, if he's able to find 1 kill over here, this could be massive, but the flashbangs are raining through and he needs to get aggressive, and he realizes that, oh no, that Molotov will force Config into the open, and Cajun goes down. That will be Nico to maybe shut out the round once again. Config is left in a 1 versus 3, but that 1 versus 3 could be depleted very, very soon. A smoke will be isolating S3 tag out of the site. It's already 2 kills for Config. He might be able to make it a 3rd, but it doesn't matter. S3 tag would have found the kill regardless. 7-8. Heroic, despite a few tragic losses, they're able to keep things alive after, on the back of Nico just stepping up time and time again. And a lot of props going out to Snappy as well, finding those entry frags time and time again. And look at this, look at this. North going for a very interesting style of buy, where Config and AZ, they're sticking to their Kevlars, but the rest of them just pulling out smokes and a lot of utility coming through. They've got grenades as well, not the double flashes that you generally expect to see. This is the full 800 being invested into this, and Config might have scouted out Snappy over there, but Snappy is more than welcome to just hide away and sandwich. And that's where the smokes will rain through. That's why they went for the 3 sets of utility. Look at these grenades. They're going to be shutting down the man. Over towards the CT side. Snappy finds one, but he's traded away immediately. And Nico, you've been stepping up time and time again, my friend. Can you come and do it again? Look at that. Valde, the smoke was his friend earlier on, but now it's turning against him. It's a bit of a backstabbery coming through. And look at this occasion. You've got 2 flashes in your hand. You want to throw them out so that S3 tag can prevent... Oh no, he's already been tagged down, dinked into oblivion. S3 tag will be allowing Heroic to come back onto the side with his own shenanigans, but he's already chasing Cajun B around. Cajun B will be shot down by Jugi though. And it will be the 8th round for Heroic. They find the pistol win, but North are able to get the bomb plant down regardless. Nico on his M4. He's not going to have too much utility to work with, but with 3 SMGs, they're more than happy to be able to farm up anything North throws their way. 5 Glocks, a couple of flashbangs, and a Dream is all that North really brings to the table, but this Dream might be shut down pretty soon. Moddies though, look at this, he's getting so far back. I don't like this at all. Playing that long range angle with the UMP and flashes are raining through. They will be able to actually make their way on. Moddy finds one, but Jugi from the side is there to clean things up. And AZ, oh my god, seriously Moddy? Seriously? That's going to be an AWP coming out for Cajun. That's a problem. That's a very big problem. And sure, you've got 5 players kept alive, but does that matter? That's where North, with that up, they can easily equalize. You've got 2 bomb plants in a row. You're more than happy. You're more than happy. But even, actually, no, they're going for the utility priority play where Cajun just sticks to his AK and will just pick up the utility. And look at this, Heroic, they're being forced to rebuy off of those UMPs. They are so afraid because they don't have a round buffer to work with. They don't have the capacity to make mistakes up against a team that is, without a doubt, supposed to be wiping them out in this map. But they'll take what they can get and they'll be careful. Pick up the AWP. They do still have 2 SMGs though, to be fair, but look at this config. Oh, there's a gap in the smoke. This could work out in their favor. Moddy sees a man, could shut him down. The flashbang is there, but it doesn't matter. AZ through the flash finds that kill, and AZ's been stepping up, but MSL has not been, as he falls down. 4 players still left alive for the side of North, and once again, as always, they've gotten the bomb plant down, but this time it seems like they might even be able to keep it down. They might be able to make sure that it does explode, because these 3 players, they're stuck in a very difficult position. They can't really go for this retake too easily. AC will be brought down, not too substantially, but a fair amount. A fair amount. That's one way to clean things up a little bit. Nico going out for that flank. But you see how North are just able to take control with these fast plays and these easy entries in this site, into the sites. Config, now he's really showing up. Now he's coming through, and this is the T side where things are working out for them. Nico, thankfully, will be able to save that AWP moving forward, and they will actually have enough. Oh no, never mind, I spoke too soon. They won't have enough money to be able to buy up on Moddy now because of that inability to save that up. Jugi still does end up going for it, but Moddy will be on nothing but a CZ. And that few kills coming out from Config and S3 Tag to clean out that up, that could be the difference maker. Now Config and company North, they're just spreading their wings across the map, going for more of a default setup where they are just hoping to find out a couple of players. But look at this, Valde getting aggressive. S3 Tag can't quite get too much done. And this is where you look at how Heroic are playing a little bit more aggressively this time around, trying to just maintain control of mid-side, but they're being read like a book right now. North still not going for an AWP on Cajun, and that will allow them to be able to go for this late takeover mid. Flashbang to follow through from... Actually, that's not a flashbang, that's a smoke. Interesting. Jugi, though, he still has got a gap to work with, but Flashbang will prevent that to happen, though. Finds the kill regardless. Cajun goes down to his favorite gun. Modi is pushing forward into Palace. Could find the skill over here very easily so, and indeed he does. AZ goes down, and that's going to be an AK in the hands of the man himself. Jugi finds another one who was turned around. Config not quite being wary enough, and leaves MSL wondering where exactly is this sniper going to be finding him from. Valde and MSL, both of them just not feeling confident in the slightest of their own positioning right now. They might have been scattered out. Definitely was scattered out. The bomb being dropped as well. And Valde finds one, but it's a 1v5. He has to win right now. He's won clutch round after clutch round. But Jugi finishes things off with 4 clean kills. And very interesting to see how many players North end up losing towards Jugi, and how they're not quite able to take control of that mid side and not quite able to overwhelm him properly. What's even more interesting to see, though, is the fact that Jugi, when he got flashed out initially, he didn't just pull the trigger. He didn't reveal his positioning. He knows that there might be another player coming out from behind, and he doesn't want to reveal his position. He's perfectly safe the way he is. There's no point pulling the trigger and taking the risk. Even if you are able to get a kill, that's still a very big question mark. You don't really know how exactly to deal with these things. With Jugi, now he's going to go down early on to Config. And that's going to be Cajun actually moving forward, trying to find a few kills. Nico, that smoke. That smoke's going to be interesting, because that's going to allow Snappy to get much more aggressive if he really wants to. Nice grenade, but Modi is the man to find one. Nico's there to clean up a few more, and these are of course just anti-eco frags. Not the most important or impressive things in the world, but it's definitely important to make sure you don't lose out too many players, and they do things in style. 11-9. Now North will be able to pull out that AWP for Cajun. I really hope they do, at least. And indeed they do. Indeed they do. And look at this, man. Nico has just been stepping up. He's got a solid... I mean, Nico's just looking very, very solid right now. He's got himself 96 ADR right now. And Jugi just playing that rotational op so well, just making sure that they can't actually catch him out from anywhere. The incendiary will force him out. Valde gets the kill early on, despite the flashbang to bait him into turning around. S3 Tang was just a bit too slow, and he ends up paying the price for that one. Ends up paying the price indeed. Snappy though, look at this. Finds that kill onto MSL early on. And that leaves Heroic down into a 3 versus 4. It's doable, but with AZ coming in from the back lines, this means that a lot of the task falls down to Modi to find these kills, and Modi has been struggling. He's only got so much to work with. But he's waiting for them to come through. Cajun still holding the angle perfectly, but Modi can't get it done. Just can't get it done. Jugi, it's all on him. Flashbang to fly. If he can find one kill, then this could be doable. If he can find Cajun, more importantly than anything else, really. Valde will be hearing these players go for the rotate, but he won't take the peek. He knows that North themselves have a bit of a flimsy economic situation. And North on their own map pick, they are not looking anywhere near as dominant as they hoped they would be. AZ leaves him with that AK to just hold the line in case someone is pushing through. Heroic have been caught out around that mark early on as well. That put them in a very difficult economic situation, but now they're back into it. They do still have enough money to be able to go for one more buy, but this is the big round. This is the round where they need to actually make things happen for themselves. Their utility will be complete, but after this round, there's not going to be too many where you can say the same. Even now, Snappy can't quite go for a few flashes, and It will be Nico over towards that mid side, just defending valiantly with only an M4 to work with. But look at this Jugi, baby. You've got 1, you've got 2. And right now, well, not quite getting to 2, but I'm sure he'll get there. I'm sure he'll get there. North, they have been giving every indication possible that Jugi will be having a spectacular time over on the CT side. MSL finds that smoke towards mid, just very afraid of any pushes to come through, any just peaks to come through while they are making their way up connect, as they do like to do so. Snappy, though, immediately rotating back to Sandwich to make sure that the man who comes from A main or Palace, AZ, every single time he's been going from that side, just getting a little bit easier to telegraph, and Nico's made the call there over towards that underpass area. He's heard the grenades being thrown. And it leaves them in a very interesting spot where Nico's found 1 S3 tag. Will be looking for Config. Config's location has been noticed, but now it's all on Snappy, who hears the smokes, he hears the flashes, and right now he's hearing AZ scream as AZ doesn't know what hit him. Cajun's left versus 4, 30 seconds left on the clock, finds 1, could move forward. This would be absolutely catastrophic for Heroic if they let him actually get this down, if they let him take this away, but not even the bomb will be deployed, and they can choose to save up the AWP and go for the double up, but they decide against it. 10-12, and Valde might be having some flashbacks. Might be missing his old friends just a little bit right now. AZ and Valde wheeling those CZs as if they're the only things that can save their lives, and right now they might be the only things that can save their chances in this too. Okay, that's a new smoke. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Alrighty then, AZ, I don't think that's what you wanted, but they're going to move forward and find S3 Tag, who finds an early kill. Jugi's still alive, and he can make it 2. Makes it 2 indeed, and right now I can count on him to make it 3, but Nico's going to prevent him from doing so because he's found AZ, and he's found Gasian, and he's found Inner Peace, as they're able to shut them down. 13-10. North are facing down a matchup that should have been theirs on paper, that they should have just been able to walk away with this, but North just looking like a team that just isn't showing up at this point. AZ was so consequential in a few of those rounds on that CT side, but beyond that, he's been having very little impact. Not quite what you expect from your flanker and your lurker, and right now Snappy, he's expecting them to push through. He's finding kills left, right, and center, and that's going to be money in the bank for him, as the bomb will not be planted. So North, their economic situation will not allow them to go for an AWP buy in the next one. 24 kills on Nico, man. He's quieted down just a little bit, but he's still holding that solid 1 kill per round. Still holding that solid 109 ADR. That's ridiculous. He's playing so well right now. That grenade will just add to it. MSL going down to 53, and with the amount of utility they have already, North, maybe an A-side execute would have been a better thing to go for, but look at this config just being naded down left, right, and center. They don't seem to care whatsoever. And MSL finds one more for himself, and Heroic, they haven't lost a single game in this entire league, but let's see if they will be doing so right now. Snappy doesn't look like he has any intention of it. Valde and Cajun are left in a 2 versus 4. Valde definitely the player you want here, but look at this Cajun, the quick flick to find Muddy. He's going to be kicking himself about that later on, and Cajun just moves forward, makes it 2. Jugi has taken down Valde though, and that means that Cajun with his 4 HP will be heavily disadvantaged and will have his life taken away as well. AWP secured into the next round, and now North, they have to win 5 consecutive rounds, with the first one starting off with very, very low economy. And at this point, I have to say Heroic, they're looking like they should be able to just walk away with this. And remember, this is a big match. North, if they were able to 2-0 this, they would have practically secured themselves a spot in that top 2. But now Heroic with this, even a 1-1, that just puts things so heavily in their favor. That's not even funny. But S3 tag and company, they are desperately trying to hold on to their chances in this round. But Cajun and Config, they're left alone. And remember, this is looking very difficult suddenly for these players to get back onto their side. The bomb is being planted and they do have the utility to try and flush him out. Cajun now has to fight up against 2 to keep themselves alive in this match. Incendiary will be forcing him out of position. Finds 1. There's no position that Cajun B can't hold, he says. And it just needs to be one more quick headshot. Nico, he's been the man to really keep things alive. But look at this, Cajun backs off. Now he's playing for the defuse. Flashes won't be helping out whatsoever, and Cajun has to be careful. He's got to be so nervous, but Nico with the off angle will be able to find that one out. 10-16. Heroic take game number 1. And with that, we're going to be moving forward to game number 2 very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute stunning match that was. Now remember, guys, if you would like to support the stream, you can like, you can subscribe, you can share this video. But more important than anything else, give me feedback. I would really appreciate knowing what you liked, what you didn't like. Just throw that out in the chat and we're going to try and improve things for you, make the experience better for you as we move forward.
Yanko, if you
Yes.
were on Immortals right now, if you were the coach, what would
I'm listening to
you
a clip
say
very
to them?
quickly.
Please drink some water with that.
And we are back, and hopefully the game will be beginning very soon. But very quickly, I wanted to highlight a couple of things about this game as we move into it. As of winning the previous game, Heroic have already secured themselves an absolute guarantee that they will be on top of the scoreboard for the ECS European Developmental League. Right now, North is trailing behind both Tricked and Gambit by just 1 point. So if they are able to get this, they're able to win this game, then if nothing else, they will be able to make sure that they have a chance in actually bringing themselves forward, even if they only draw things out with Space Soldiers later on, because that's a very important game too. If North are able to win that 2-0, then regardless of what happens, they're going to be in the top 2. They're going to be in that spot where they can play against the 9th or 10th position team in from the previous season. Heroic, though, they've guaranteed with that one victory, just that one victory, they have absolutely guaranteed that there is no way they will not be on top of this score regardless. Now, let's wait and see whether or not Heroic are able to pull something off on the map that they picked for themselves or not, because remember, Jugi is a big question mark. Jugi is the man who, if he shows up on this map, well, North doesn't have a chance. Not with the way they were playing. Valde seemed to be the only person who was really consistently showing up. Both himself and Cajun B really coming up, stepping up to the playing field. So right now, unless Config and company are able to bring things together a little bit more effectively, this is not going to work out for them whatsoever. 0-0. And now we're going to be starting off with North on the CT side, as they did win out that knife round. And as I said, North, there is a slight chance that they don't make it to the top 2, but it all depends on Space Soldiers being able to 2-0 them, and Heroic right now as well being able to 2-0 them. Otherwise, this could very well move forward into either a tiebreaker situation or a situation where it goes to head-to-head. And Heroic, well, now Jugi, he's the man who's taking those early pot shots, but Deagle in his hand, that's not something we see very often. Back in the Mouse Sports days, when you had Nico taking charge of that team, that's when we saw that Deagle on the terrorist side. It is a very potent gun in terms of its ability to be able to find kills from long range, but Modi, look at this, he's found kills from close range as well. They finds one, but he's traded out a bit too soon for it to be all too consequential for the side of Heroic. Well, for the side of North, rather. Heroic will still be very happy about that, but North, that's the information going their way, and Cajun's heard the call and he's made their rotation. Should be able to find at least one over here, but the only one he finds is someone who's right there with the Deagle, waiting to be able to behead him. MSL is just feeling very, very grateful that AZ is there to find a few, and Config finishes things off. For some reason, our director didn't want to show us AZ, but it's okay. It's okay. I will forgive it. I will allow you to show me MSL as he runs up from Banana instead of showing me the 3 kills that AZ got from his pistol. It will be permitted. But now North, they're going for 5 sets of SMGs, and I really don't like this. This is something that SK does as well. And it can do a lot in terms of giving you quite a bit of money, but at the same time, it just seems like such an unnecessary risk. Now that you've got 5 pieces of head armor as well, AZ going back towards that apartment's position will mean that Modi just has to be comforting himself, backs off, and and now it's really just all down towards whether or not North take a peek and make a mistake, and that's where Jugi could try and find a few kills over here. Actually, S3 tag is allowing Jugi to boost up on him. MSL sees the head, finds one, will make it. Oh, never mind, it isn't 2 because S3 tag is there to respond, and he finds that shot with the CZ. Valde is still hunting though, and with 50 seconds left on the clock, and now with an incendiary and a UMP in their hands, maybe they can make a play towards that A side. Config is just being very careful with his utility. Doesn't want to use it too soon, but Modi using that gap in the smoke to his own advantage, as they will be pushing through. Valde should have been there waiting for them on the other side, but instead he wants to set up that crossfire with AZ, and understandably so. 30 seconds left on the clock. They need to make that push. Modi is, here's the bullets, here's the dinks, and he can't quite respond, and yes, he can find that one shot. And Valde going down on the side as well means that S3 Tag with that UMP still sitting very comfortably on his HP pool will be able to exploit out Cajun B. Cajun finds Snappy and will move forward to find a few more if he's able to. But Nico from long range, once again, that star player from the previous game as well. He's just stepping up right now to find a few shots. But Config left in a 1 versus 3 turns it into a 1v1. But that will be S3 Tag who emerges victorious. And that's what I was talking about. North now, without that firepower, they just get shut down by CZs a bit too easily. MSL losing out that early duel means that he forfeits a UMP, and that's just used to their advantage to perfection. And that's where Heroic, they're able to find that eco round victory that North was desperately hoping to prevent. And like I said, it just seems so risky to go for those SMGs. And how much are you really getting out of it? Even if you get all 5 kills with the SMGs without losing a single player, that's still something that would have been possible with 3 SMGs. But now you're looking at Config. He's showing up his own deagle skills, finds that one shot onto S3 Tag. And if this is going to end up being one of those games where everyone keeps winning ecos, this is going to be ridiculous. It is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Flashbangs and CZs and 5.7 P250s. Deagles on Config and MSL's Fuchsia. These are a few. I don't know why I'm singing that along, but Snappy, he's singing the song of death. It's not a very pleasant one because he is the man on the receiving end, but Moddy's quick to respond and say, it's okay, you keep that lullaby going because I'm putting Valde to sleep. Config with deagles and shots to the head. Occasion be over on A instead. These are a few of my favorite things. 30 seconds left on the clock and they need to make it very quick. Heroic, they're going to be walking in very quickly, but MSL, oh no, you have to step up. You've got a CZ. You haven't been very good with this on the first game. Can you step up right now? Because Jugi inching his way through the smoke. The utility usage has been very much on point coming out from the north side, but now MSL allows Config the space to find another. And that will be Modi left alone with 10 seconds to play with and 10 seconds more where he needs to decide whether or not he keeps himself alive. And oh no, he's going to go down after the time. He's going to go down after the time. Config can take the speak out. It will indeed. And no! With the AK, no less. And that will be only $700 left for Modi to play around with. Tamirui. I love you too, Tamirui. I love you too. I know you love me. I know you love me. I know I'm one of your favorite things, but one of my favorite things is seeing Nico on that AK because he was looking spectacular with it in that previous game. Flashbangs to fly through will allow them to take the peak, but the smoke is there to prevent them from really finding anything too much. But that grenade will find Jugi regardless. Valde, though, he's at risk of being circled around from. That's why Cajun has pushed through, is looking to find a few. They've still got 4 SMGs, and that's not really the best of circumstances up against the 4 spy of Heroic. But look at this, S3 Tang just hunting around, and it will be Nico to find one with that AK. Moves forward, it could be the second as Valde is on the retreat, and he's caught out on that very same retreat. This is not a great holiday to go for, my friend, because it is Nico from the back lines. Modi puts it into a 1 versus 4 and Confu! Wow. That was a nice shot. That was a nice shot. Mid-air jumping up the stairs and he finds it. He finds it. Damn. I feel slightly offended that chat is saying I'm okay compared to other casters. I mean, I would like to say that I'm okay in general, but you know, apparently that's not the case. But I do really appreciate Heroic's willingness to go for the full commitment and just trust in Nico, because he's been having a great game so far. Config with the boost onto MSL, not quite able to find the early shots. But that's going to be the only time MSL is ever really able to boost Config up, so he can feel happy about that. Nico now pushing forward. He was the hero of that previous round, and right now he's looking to really replicate that feat. With a minute left on the clock, he definitely has more than enough time to play with. S3 tag, finds a tag, and how fitting for that as well. 3 players on that B side is going to be a stack that Heroic do not want to walk onto, so the back they go onto A. Not quite sure if they've managed to get a whiff of what is happening, but with 50 seconds left on the clock and Heroic having shown a tendency to slow things down to the 30-second mark before actually going for these executes. Valde now, he has to step up. He saw the shoulder, but Nico, there's quite a bit coming out from him as well. Finds that shot early on. Nico's just, man, what is Nico doing? Honestly, he's heard that his namesake is really stepping up, and he decides I should do the same. I can't disgrace what just happened at ESL1 Cologne. I have to be the man to take charge. I have to be the man to own my name, and he is owning it already. I mean, look at him. He's got 5 kills already, and all 5 of them have to be very, very impactful ones. North, though, they're going for the smart play. They're keeping their guns alive into the next round, and this is good because if you look over towards their money, they have to actually save up, and I don't think they should go for a buy around these regardless. They can choose to do so because, of course, they're still going to be in a, not exactly a double eco, but an almost double eco situation regardless. But Dosia would have really liked to be here at this point, with all 4 players being over towards that corner in next to the pit area. 3, 2, and North. Let's see what they go for. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's the force buy coming through from them. I would like to see Cajun actually buy up a UMP. Yeah, okay, so great. So they're buying up UMPs and so on to be able to make sure that they still have a chance in this round. I do find it interesting that they're going for this because, remember, they are on the favored side. So if Heroic ends up winning this, not only will they go to 5 round victories, that's where North shouldn't be able to go for an up for Cajun B regardless. I say that, but, well, I don't really know. But Cajun, I don't think he's going to be able to purchase up an AWP. Not that he seems to need it now that he's got his M4 in a crossfire position. 2 quick kills for him, and that's very important. But S3 Tag is there to return. Finds another, and Cajun being as low as he is means that this is going to be the pincer coming in onto that A side. These 2 players from Banana will be a bit too slow. Cajun will not have any backup whatsoever. These incendiaries can just bring him down, down, down. It'll be like a song from Usher from back in 2008. But Jugi takes a peek, and he's looking to take someone down, but AZ, he doesn't quite have the intent of doing so. He doesn't quite provide consent, and, you know, that's where Heroic, they're good boys. They don't take anyone down without consent. Config, though, maybe not so much for him. As he finds that bomb carrier, he takes him apart. Doesn't even let him get a shot out in response. And S3 Tag is now left in 1 versus 3, where he has quite a bit to deal with. Reveals his position, and that means that Cajun can come through. Finds one, but AZ's there to respond. And you can't quite stop the triple peak. You can't quite stop North from taking that round away. 3 to 3, and it's a bit of a gamble, but it pays off for them. And now Heroic, the question is, how exactly are they going to adjust to this now that North have displayed their inclination to go aggressive over towards apartments? Is the Bion... we can talk about that in a second as Config gets knocked down to size. 46 HP on him. Still no AWP though, that's what I talked about. Nothing for Jugi, nothing for Cajun B either. The Bionic Girl B, are you Dusky Redhead by any chance? I don't remember your username otherwise. Jugi's flashbang goes through, but again, this is the interesting thing that we're gonna see where Config's there. Okay, Config, okay, that's fine too. 3 quick kills for you. And that is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting, isn't it? Damn, Config. You can't do that. That is daylight robbery right there. Wow. Just wow. And Config now, I mean, what more do you really need to do at this point? Heroic might be better off just saving up, and they don't quite agree with me on that because they are still just hoping that North will make the mistake of peeking out. But Morty could be that first kill to fight through. Config is looking to make it an ace, and yes, he won't. Yes, he won't. Found one, could have even been the last one, but Cajun steals that away from him. 4 kills from him that round, and all of them just perfectly played. Flashbangs, hiding behind second oranges. This is a man of deception. Heroic now fighting with what might be their first proper eco of the game. Hopefully they don't pull off something ridiculously miraculous and manage to shut everyone down. But Valde, unfortunately for him, he's not over towards that. Oh no, this is... Please don't tell me this is happening. The Glocks from long range, that upgrade, is it actually going to end up paying off? Nico with the deagle as well, and now he's found 2. What is happening? MSL, is he going to be the man to step up? That's never something I thought I would say. He's already found 2, but Jugi with the M4, he returns! And oh no, AZ, he's left in a 1v2. Such mistakes coming out of Nico with 2 great shots, and I talked about him being the man who's been on fire. But Blazy is going to continue to do so as he lives up to his own name and that of his deagle. Finding these kills, and this is just so heartbreaking. AZ with that smoke is just going to go for the defuse very soon, but it's just going to be Nico to shut him down from close range. Even the M4 saved away. How do you cope in a situation like this as North when you've just been completely and utterly shut down by Nico? 1 kill on Valde. He's not been having a great time whatsoever. And he's one of the more consistent players on North as well. Config, of course, with that 1 round and those 4 kills, he's very comfortably on top of the scoreboard, and he will be for some time. North, their chances are not looking good for them right now in this half, because if they lose this one out, that's where Heroic will have complete control. That's where Heroic can very easily shut things out right now. They just camped outside that B site in a banana, just trying to keep control, and with 50 seconds left on the clock, it does look like Heroic might just go for a rotate out. It's Valde who needs to step up. It is Valde who needs to do so much. You try and find these shots, but Nico taking the peek, he knows exactly, he might know where he is. He's looking like he knows that this is second balcony, with Snappy coming in from the sidelines. It's going to be a double peek, and Nico, he looks the right direction, but Valde finally finding these shots, finding what he needed to, and that's 3 quick kills for him. Puts things into perspective when you realize that he just quadrupled his score, but AZ now left to fight up against Jugi. A 1v1 on that A site, but that is one that he wins any day of the week. The Bionic Girl B betting works in a way that it depends on the odds. So if the odds favor a team more, so right now North is the massive favorite, so that means Heroic. If you bet on Heroic, if you bet like probably like $3 to $4, you can get $20. But right now it's MSL who's looking to get more than just $20. He's looking to get 600, and that's exactly what he gets with that UMP kill. Jugi goes down, but Valde, he is just feeling very happy that he managed to step up when his team needed him to the most. A very rare opportunity where he doesn't get shut down, but S3 tag looks over towards Banana, takes control of it. Incendiaries don't seem to matter whatsoever. And Valde, Now he just turned around at the wrong time. Nico will not be able to find him through S3 tag. What are you doing, my friend? You found 2 and he keeps himself alive even. Snappy's coming in to give him some backup, but he's only got a single point of HP. And both of these players combined have a total of 3 HP. That's not something you want to see, especially not if you're a Heroic fan. Them just getting away with as little as they have. And Nico, well... well, this is 40 seconds left, and Cajun, as much as I would like to say that he should save this UMP, at the same time his teammates don't really have very much money to work with. So if you're able to find a few of these really weakened players, that's a lot of money in the bank. And that's a lot of that's a few guns taken out of the side of Heroic, where now they might be forced to go for these AKs instead. Cajun, though, should realize that there's a few players over towards pit who are going to be saving up, as they always do. But now off they go, and Cajun leading the charge, sees a diffuse kit on the ground, really tempted to go ahead and pick that one up, but decides against it at the end of the day. Won't find any kills, and that will be all she wrote for him, and he keeps his UMP alive, doesn't want to risk anything too much. But S3 tag, man, that round just going absolutely insane. Just a few flashbangs, and he pushes through the incendiaries, he pushes through the utility of North, and that's where you ask yourself, how does North even win that? They used their utility at the right time, just at a split second earlier perhaps, and maybe they would have been able to walk away with something, but Heroic are looking so good right now. With those entry kills, with everything just working out for them. And Modi and S3 tag, they're both just trying to replicate what they did earlier on over towards that B side. This time the config much more safe, but safe will be turned to sorry as Jugi finds that kill. Speaking of Jugi, he's been a bit quiet so far in this series. Both him and Snappy not quite delivering the same way we expect them to. And would really like to see him come alive, at least on the CT side, once he is going to be picking up more of those AWPs. And that's another thing that we need to keep in mind. So far, if I'm not wrong, Cajun has not had the opportunity to buy an AWP a single time in this entire game. And that's something that we saw from Mirage as well, where North did lose control very, very quickly, and Cajun wasn't quite able to purchase up those AWPs all too frequently. And that's a big problem when you've got an AWP like Asian B, who is just so consistent that you can always rely on him finding a couple of kills every round, practically, or so it seems at least. Instead, Cajun is sitting very comfortably in the middle of the pack with only 5 kills to his name. Incendiary goes through from Valde, but it's S3 tag who doesn't care about incendiaries. When will you learn, North? When will you learn? Winter. Why am I saying winter is coming? It's Modi who's coming, and AZ who's dying, and well, Cajun B and MSL who will be saving. There's a lot of ings coming out here and there, but yeah. I don't really know what to say at this point, man. Because North, you aren't going to have money. That's it's just very frustrating watching these teams go for these constant force buys, because the CTs need to realize trading rounds with terrorists does not work. It's like negotiating with them in real life. It just doesn't work. Because you can see, okay, it's 1 1 1 2 2 1 1 1, well 1 2 at this point. And if North keep going like this, they've already lost out. This is already so deep into the first half that this is where you start thinking to yourself, maybe, you know, maybe we can actually figure out what this is where teams generally have a tendency to get stuck in the track of continuing to buy up because it's late into the half, because that's where they say, well, you know, what are we saving for? Our economy is in tatters anyway. We may as well try and get lucky with a buy. But they're not getting lucky with these buys, and I really like that North are actually going for this save over here. And Jugi and Jugi and Snappy look like they're shooting more into their own teammates than anyone else, but it's just because I don't think North should have enough money to buy the op on Cajun even now. Actually, I mean, it's just an eco kills happen. Yes, I costed that. Brilliant. That was the entire round. Eco kills happen. But okay, Cajun can go for the op. It's a naked op though. I hate this decision. I hate this decision so much. Oh my god, I hate this decision. You're essentially crippling one of your better players right now. Valde as well, he's been super quiet at this point. With only 4 kills, he hasn't got a single kill since his 3k over towards that A side. MSL pushes forward aggressively this time around. And op would have been great there, but they decide not to go for it. So Config, he has to be the man actually defending the B side while Gajun makes that rotation over with that famous. Bionic, I have no idea what you're on about. Sven is right about it being a qualifier, not a major final. And you shouldn't cast every match like it's a major final. No, definitely not. But I will say this though. I will say this. When you don't get to cast a major final, then you can get cast every match like it is. But Modi right now, he's playing this match like it's a major final. And by that, I mean his, you know, I mean, I'm just saying his knees are weak, his arms are heavy, his palms are sweaty. But on the surface, he looks calm and ready to find heads. 2 quick kills for him, and Snappy will be helping them clean up the rest of this round. Cajun goes down, leaving Config alone. And look at this Jugi. Well, he's found out where Config is, and off the back of that, I think I just hit puberty right there in the middle of that sentence. Off the back of that, now you're God, I apologize just a second. I need to actually get all of this out of my system. I'm not even going to mute my microphone because I'm unprofessional. All right, so North quasi buy from them. If I'm not wrong, Cajun B has not gone for an op a single time in this entire half. Please correct me if I am though. And Config isn't doing much either. Ever since his 4k, he's only found 1 kill. All of North is really quieted down, with AZ having stepped up here and there for a couple of the rounds that they did manage to get. But other than that, they just haven't been looking in control whatsoever. Heroic just look like the overall superior team by far, and if North are playing like this, even against Space Soldiers, they could be 2-0'd, and where I was under the impression that, you know, this should be a fairly easy way for them to get into the top 2. It doesn't seem to be the case, because Config, even he's going down right now and not finding a single kill with that Deagle. Nice shot from Cajun. They're just looking, And Valde, well, he just found his first kill since, if I'm not wrong, since the 7th round, he's found his first kill. And that's all it'll be, it's just 1. And even that was very inconsequential. And finally, for the first time in this entire half, North go for the op on Cajun B. But Jugi has 1 too now, and this is where I would like to say things get interesting, but it's the last round of the half, and I mean, I just wish we could have seen this early on. Let's see though, AZ with a grenade down mid to make sure that they're not rushing in will mean that Jugi has a chance. Oh, almost finds that shot, almost threads the needle. Snappy is still just trying and hoping for a wall bang, but But now it is a boost up from onto Cajun. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. That grenade combined with a shot through the wall means that Jugi brings down Cajun to 12 HP. Really good grenade though. Config's at 48 as well, and suddenly this B side is going to be a lot harder to hold. Valde with that M4 is just hoping to find a couple of kills, but the moment that man walks through Boiler, he needs to step up and he needs to be large and in charge, and yes he is. Finds one, makes it two, could be the fourth, even as it is going to be stopped at 3, and that's the exact number of players that North have left to fight up against Heroics 2. But AZ, this is a 1 versus 2 on the site for him, so if they're able to overwhelm him without losing a single player, this could be big. Jugi takes that early pot shot, misses it out early on, but AZ, look at this, he can actually try and clean up the entire round on his own, try and finish off that half. But Cation, he's holding the angle. Config's peeking forward slowly through the smoke. He can go. Jugi doesn't quite want to let that happen, but Jugi, ooh, what are you doing, my friend? Nicely done! Almost finds that shot as well. Almost finds that shot as well. That would have been so good if he just pulls the trigger on the deagle. And off the back of a very close 1v1, North are able to take it to the 6th round victory. If they're able to get the pistol round, then they still do have a good chance in this one. But this is where Heroic, they can really, really step up. And that's something nice to see, where Nico was really pumping out those numbers early on. That's where you're looking at him now quieting down, but at the same time you're at the same time the rest of your players are starting to really step up. Modi being one of them as he finds Valde through the wall. And oh no, Snappy, what are you trying to do there, Snappy? You don't want to take that duo whatsoever. Config is a monster and he is growling. Config is like a Katy Perry song right now. I'm just waiting to hear him roar. But let's see if he can beat our teenage dream and beat the firework. That will allow North to soar to victory and soar to find those California girls. But Jugi, well, he's looking for a couple of people who aren't just California girls. They're Danish grown men. They won't be able to really... Interesting decision coming out from Config. Pushes through the smoke, leaves AZ alone to find the bomb plant. And Heroic, I do like how they're playing very defensively, and they're being very careful even as they did hear the bomb plant sound going off and they ended 3 versus 1. They don't want to give up any possible... I'm just so confused by that jump through the smoke from Config. I'm very confused. North will be able to have that by coming out in that... Again, they're going to be... I hope they get the bomb plant down this one, because they're going to be facing the same circumstances otherwise, where Cajun B will just have no op coming out for practically all of this half. Where... Wow, that is a good grenade. Finding a lot of damage early on. MSL just pushes through. The smoke won't be deployed properly because of his own body being used to block it. Snappy, though, is there with the spray, and Nico finishes things off. Not too many UMP kills coming through, so Heroic aren't very happy with the outcome of that. They only find 1, but that is going to be the pharmacist saved. They've got 4 rifles in this. They realize that they would have had to face up against the full might of the AKs coming out from North. I actually need to take my shirt off right now, but I can't do that while the round is going on. It's okay, we've always wanted to be a stripper, we've always wanted to be a caster, but S3 tag, meh. Making North a bit worried right now with only 25 HP left for AZ through that smoke. He is able to back himself off in a timely fashion, but the damage has been done. Nice flashbang to come through from Valde. That's going to be catching out those players at quad and MSL. Oh no. It could have been a 5 versus 3, my friend, but instead it's going to be 4. And let's see whether or not it comes back to bite them. And yes, it does. Nico, he's got a bike. Oh my god. Nico. 3 quick kills for him. And that means it's AZ in a 1 versus 3. He will again look to get the bomb plant down. But now, even that will be denied to them. 3 players kept alive. AK's saved forward into the next round as well. 6-12, and Heroic, they're looking untouchable right now. If they keep playing like this, even in the best of 5 that they're going to play up against, if I'm not wrong, it's VP maybe, then that is going to be them maybe making their way into the ECS league. Okay, I'm going to take my shirt off in the meanwhile. You guys can watch Eco Frags happen. And North just seemed to be really losing control. Well, I say that, but Config, he's really trying to he's just trying to keep himself alive in this round and in this game. They will get the bomb plant down, which means that hopefully, hopefully, prayer hands, cross my heart, hope to die, hopefully Cajun will be able to find an AWP in the next round, but right now he's been left with an M4 and he's trying to defend from long range. That could have been a nice spray down from him to turn it into a 1v1 in a doable situation, but Snappy coming in from the back lines will be able to get that bomb defuse out. 6-13, Heroic well in control of this game. The op is there, but Jugi seems... Okay, Jugi, don't burn, please. Please. The grenades are being thrown. Okay, that's a good way to start things off. That is a very good way to start things off. Jugi going down means that B side is left relatively unprotected, and that means that Heroic have to go for a rotation over North. Look at this, they're reading it perfectly. But do they realize that there is a man coming in from the back line? Snappy is waiting and hoping that he can catch a few players out on the rotates. But MSL, he's caught out Nico with a grenade in his hand. And Snappy, it's all on him to try and prevent this bomb from actually going forward. He sees it being dropped, and it's all on AZ and Co to try and recover it. Snappy drops down, and he will go down as AZ finds that shot, finds that kill. Valde makes sure that Modi can't quite find him down, can't spray him down through that outside smoke. Decides to go from quad instead. And now with these two guns saved forwards, it is still going to be a decent buy coming out from Heroic. They have one more buy in them, if I'm not wrong. Maybe even 2, honestly. But this is where North are the ones who are going to need to step things up. They're not strapped for cash either, so even if they do end up losing one round more, that's where they will still have the money, but that's where you don't really have the room to make errors anymore. You don't want to let Heroic get a single round more at this point. Just keep yourself in the green, keep yourself in that zone where you have a chance to come back into this without having to fight up against a potential map point. Double up is there now, and Heroic, this is where things get serious. This is where things get tricky. They're not going to be peeking forward aggressively. They don't want to let Jugi go down to the utility this time around. But it is a bit of a loss for them in that sense as well. Jugi, you're looking over at his positioning, and he is going to be boosted over the smoke. Not quite being spotted out. Sees AZ. Oh no, it's creeping forward. AZ won't be located just quite yet, but this is still so crucial that they realize that he's there. AZ's been left on the lurk and he could really step up. Could really just step up at this point, but for now it seems like there's not going to be any action happening there. Jugi, now you're waiting for him. Finds that early shot indication, backs himself off. AZ's not there to go for the push through. An S3 tag. Oh no, Config, please don't do this to me. Please don't. Snappy just finds that kill onto MSL as he had his back turned. And that's a 5 versus 3 early on, and you don't know what to do at this point if you're North. Valde just going to smoke off Library, hoping that he can go over towards that B side. The flashbang is there to follow through, but that's not even a proper smoke onto Library. Jugi's there in the back of Arch. And AZ, well, it's just these ops, they're stepping up. They've found every single kill so far. And Config, he will be the last casualty, but it is to the AK of Muddy. 14-7, North have got the money to buy up again, but Heroic. What is happening? North is one of the best teams in the world. Heroic barely top 20. And they are wiping their boots off of North's gravestones at this point. Flashbang to follow. AZ's there in the back lines. Asian moving forward aggressively through the smoke. He goes. Modi's found one already. Immediately the early frags just going their way, but it's still a 3 versus 3 and North could still save the day against a double AWP. But will things go their way is the question. And Config for now, he's answering that with a very loud, very clear, firm no. But Snappy's pushing through. MSL is still in the back lines of apartments, knows that this is an angle he can use to his own advantages. They will be making their way over. Jugi just trying to wallbang through, find a few. Configs there, and it will be his head to fall. MSL's been left alone to try and fend up that bomb as it is going to be defused. Jugi's holding the angle correctly, but that will not be any time left. Jugi, oh, never mind. What have you got for me, Jugi? 2 seconds left. Will you be able to get the defuse? Yes, he does! No! No! That couldn't have been more than a split second. I was sure he had it. I was absolutely sure he had that one. But down to the wire. 14-8. And now Heroic, they don't have money. They don't have that up. They lost out both of those big boy guns. They're force buying up, but this might not be the best of decisions. This could be where they find themselves broken by North. And on they go. It's Snappy to push through. MSL just jumps across from him, but that's a big mistake to make, and MSL will end up losing out his AK and his Molotov. That means Config has to change up positions towards Graveyard instead, and already Config's been tagged down to 5 HP. Valde through the smoke. He's trying, he's attempting, he's doing whatever he can, but Juki with that deagle is more than capable of shutting down these players. Look at how Config is rotating around the site though. Graveyard has been smoked off, but it doesn't seem to matter. S3 Tank just jumping across like a little bunny that he is. But he's going to back himself off. No, never mind. Getting aggressive instead. Wants to find these two players. Makes it 1. And it doesn't quite look like it will quite be 2. Yes, it will be. Valde, 17 HP on you. And they have got the kit, but now it's going to be Valde finishing things off. And I said, I spoke too soon. North find their way to the 9th round. Heroic do force them to rebuy up, but now this should be the eco coming through from Heroic themselves. Wouldn't even mind seeing a double eco round coming through. Let North get to 11 at this point. Let them get that double 1. I'm still trying to figure out like a way to get my favorite things to work in CS as well. It's like AKs and CZs and anti-eco, but see, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. What can you do? What can you do? That's a nice thing about eco rounds. That's where, you know what, you can kind of mellow down a bit. Talk about whatever you want. I can talk about my life. I've got an assignment, I've got a case study. It's for financial management. We've got that due tomorrow. I'm going to be reading that in the middle of the games. Before the next game starts, I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to start reading that. I'm going to start studying. I'm going to get that highlighter going. I'm going to get all of that color in, you know. Get fancy up in that shiz. The stack on that A side doesn't work out from Heroic. That's the only really substantial thing that I can talk about in this round. But look at this flank to come through from Snappy. He has a CZ, but Occasion is just wary of this as well, and he will be able to find that kill. Now, we're back to it. So the case study that we're actually reading is about ethics and financial management. That's it. I'm not going to say it's an interesting part. It's a bit of a boring part, but it should be very interesting moving forward as a discussion tomorrow in class to see how exactly that goes out. I want to be properly prepared for it. I want to give off a good impression to the teacher. Because, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Still no op on Heroic side, and that's why I said I wouldn't mind seeing them go for a double eco, but they seem confident that they can get away with this with only M4s. But if they end up losing out this one, this is going to be a situation where North are very much capable of bringing things back into their own playing field, into their own court. And Valde, well, that's exactly what he wants to do right now. There's not much utility to speak of on the CT side either. And 10 to 14, off they go. Valde and co. Onto the A side. But will Snappy give us a chance to go whoa is the question, but could also be a throw. Snappy, that incendiary will make sure that he's not in that position, but the smoke is still preventing him from peeking forward. Cajun B finds the first one. Snappy's there to respond though, and that leaves things under the hands of Nico, and these are very, very capable hands, especially when they've got a flashback to help them out with 3 kills to Nico's name. AZ has to step up with one more to save the day. Heroic, AWP or not, it doesn't seem to matter. AZ is the man to watch out for. He's pushing through. He's pushing aggressively forward. And he's got a man coming in from behind him as well. They have no way of making sure this keeps working out. AZ finds one through the gap, and that will be Snappy to finish him off. Pick up the AWP as well. 15 to 10 North. Now they're facing up against 5 consecutive match and map points. Five. This could be the second 16-10 in a row that we see coming out from the Danish derby itself. The little boys are smacking around the old men right now, and Heroic, well, they're more than happy to be called little boys for once. Valde, I have to say, man, he's been so quiet in this game. Just hasn't really been doing too much. Config's the only person who's got numbers on the scoreboard that are worth mentioning, but even him hasn't really been looking like it's that superstar performance that you're used to seeing from him. Config now moving through with a UMP. Leaves the duty on MSL to be able to try and take down Snappy. So far, MSL has lost out that duel a few times, but this could be the time where he finally goes ahead and wins it. Cajun with a P250 and nothing else to speak of. Will just be a walking smoke carrier. Config finds one, moves forward. That could be the gun for Cajun to pick up. Once again, it might be Nico who has to actually hold this A site from pit side. Finds one, moves back immediately, sees Vacation is coming in from the other side. Modi needs to make his way over to provide some support because Nico's already gone down to Valde. Modi finds one, rotates over. It could be Valde to take him down. Yes, it will be Valde finally stepping up, and it's a 2 versus 3. Jugi coming in from the back lines. It's S3 tag from... Ooh, that's a nice shot from Jugi. Then that's... No, S3 tag! Don't pull out your knife, my friend. Don't pull out your knife. But no, Jugi, look at you, look at you. Ooh, he finds it. He finds it. And it's a 1 versus 1. Valdez revealed his position as well. Jugi's going to be going forward with the flashbang. Can't actually try and find the shot now. Valde, what are you going to do in this situation? Are you going to take the peek, Valde? You can't do it, Valde. He can't do it, but he go. No, that shot will reveal it. Valde just going for the shoulder peeks, baiting it out, playing him like a fiddle. 11 to 15, and heroic, how many heart attacks are you gonna give me? That was 4 right there, 4 heart attacks right there. If you're wondering how I got to that number, I really don't know, but my logical skills are astounded with that shot from... that shot from Jugi. Perfect. And then Valde just with the jiggle peaks, not letting him go for the defuse. If he just stuck that, maybe he would have even been able to get it. But that's where you have to just ask yourself, okay, you know, this is where it's just such a big gamble. Snappy's CZ is once again just holding, but heroic, they've got their work cut out for them. Their money is looking lackluster, to say the least. But lackluster doesn't seem to matter. Jugi's found 1. He's looking to make it 2, but shots through the smoke will not land. And so far so good for North. They've lost out a player, yes, but that's not okay. Occasion is being tagged down pretty substantially as well. Valdez there, the savior of the previous round, just trying to make sure that things are working out in their favor. Config. Well, that's going to be a quick and easy round coming out from the side of North. Interested to see whether or not the gun will be thrown over towards Heroic and they might be able to save it. As I say that though, they will both end up dying. Well done. Now it's all on Heroic. Now they've got the AWP again on Jugi. We saw what he can do over there. But it's easy to come through and try and step things up. You can find that kill into Jugi again, be it with utility, be it with any other way. That would be very, very big for them. But Jugi's now looking to get aggressive, but aggression will be punished as Cajun finds that kill, 12 to 15. And it's all a very long drawn game of chicken, or so it seems, as AZ. He isn't the man to take down Jugi, but he allows it to happen. Modi in the meanwhile uses the flash to his advantage. MSL is there to respond. And Nico, the man of the series so far for sure. If he's able to find a few kills overhead, that's where things look interesting. That's where things look different. Needs to go for the flank, but just feeling so scared of doing so. There's two players on that B side. They've made the correct decision, but Snappy, will he be able to find these shots? Off they go. Valde moving forward aggressively. Snappy, you need to be able to find this. No, my friend, but S3 Tag is the man instead to step things up, but Snappy immediately being shut down. Two quick kills from Valde come through, and that leaves it into a 1v2 for Nico. Valde finally coming in to the server. He was a bit late to it, but now that he has woken up, he's done stretching, he's done yawning, but Nico's there to shut him down. Flashbangs in hand as well. If Cajun takes this peek. Again, just a 1 versus 1 going their way, and Heroic, please, I beg of you, just go for an eco round and then fully buy up. North are so close. They're one gun round away from being able to take this to overtime. Snappy though dropping the ball over there, just being shut down by Valde. A quick headshot from the former heroic player. What a game this has been though. A game of clutches indeed. 1v1s, 1v2s. And right now, well, it's going to be 2 quick kills as Modi gets naded down. MSL and AZ combine their powers to find a few more. Of course, these are just anti-eco frags at the end of the day. And S3 tag, if he's just able to find a few more, that is where, at least if nothing else, North will be somewhat inconvenienced monetarily. Occasion, if he loses out this AWP, that's where it gets a little bit harder for them to be able to rebuy. But with the money that they have, they should be feeling more than comfortable in doing so in the next round. And that's the one that they really need to win. 16 to 14 could come through from Heroic, but Snappy with that AK saved up into the next round, that could actually be a big game changer. Bit more utility for him. Can't even just buy up that AWP, throw it over to Jugi, so he has more to work with as well. But Snappy instead, he's just going to be content with finding a few shots early on, and he might not be able to save this AK moving forward, and Config denies him the chance to do so. 14 to 15, Heroic will not be given the chance to save anything into the next round. Muddy throws over and up into the hands of Jugi, and then we'll have to be content with just a smoke and a flashbang. They've got good utility on the side of the CTs, but this is the most important round of the game so far. Hands down the most important one. And that's where you see the double up being cycled out. Config, what are you looking to do? Config, interestingly done from you. Going for the wall bangs perhaps early on. Hoping to find a pickoff with that one, but immediately just rotates away. If he did find that, that would have been ridiculous. That would have been something to really write home about. I mean, I would have wrote home about it, and I'm actually living in home. So for me to go to the effort to write home, that is massive. That's why, you know, that's why it was a really, really good play. AZ pushing in slowly but surely. And oh my, oh my, oh my. Snappy, you found one, but AZ's there to respond, and it's all the action in the world happening on the other side of the map. And S3 Tang, he's going to be finding quite a bit of action falling right into his lap, but he needs to step up. He needs to find a few. There's a Molotov to stop him out. Grenade in his hand, and AZ, though, he's in the back lines to try and bring things back, and it's a 2 versus 3, but Valde is really, really hoping that he's able to find a quick shot before they get the bomb plant down. From the back end is Jugi. Looking, searching, and he has found him. AZ is left in a 1v3. Needs to step up to save the day. Needs to be here. North needs to go up. If they're able to get this victory, this is exactly what will decide their fate in the playoffs. And Muddy, he's gone down. It's 2 more 1v1s practically if he plays this right. Finds one, and AZ, this could be overtime. But Nico finds a shot, and that will be all she wrote. Heroic, how fitting after a series of clutches, after a series of 1vx's and a series of players individually stepping up again and again and again. Heroic, they take it 2-0 above North. Heart attacks galore. They say American meals cause heart attacks. I say it's Danish CS. With that being said, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back soon. North are fighting up against Space Soldiers up next. Let's see if they're able to take it. In the meanwhile, be sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button. And if you've got any feedback whatsoever, throw it out in the chat. This is T-Tam. I'm signing off, and we'll be back very soon.
survived. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay.